Brent Sherwood, Vice President for Advanced Development Programs at Blue Origin, was part of a panel at the last edition of the International Astronautical Congress, which took place virtually in November 2020. He gave the big picture of the Artemis project, which will bring humans back to the moon. Although there is a lot of attention and expectation from this mission, the speaker reminds us that the Artemis mission will be very different from the Apollo mission, so there's a lot of learning to do. Here are the highlights.
What you see here is our design for the human landing system. That's what NASA calls the lander that will carry crew from a high lunar orbit down to the surface and back up. They'll be delivered out to cislunar space by the Orion, launched on SLS, and then transfer into this vehicle. We've formed a partnership that we call the national team. The members are Blue Origin as prime contractor, and we also provide the middle part of this stack. It's called the descent element. Lockheed Martin is our partner for the ascent element that has the crew cabin on it and is based heavily on Orion systems for continuity with the rest of the Artemis program. Northrop Grumman is our partner for the transfer element, which is the deorbit stage that designed for the human landing system. That's what NASA calls Draper is our partner for lander that will carry navigation from with Heritage a high lunar orbit down to the surface and back up. So they'll be delivered out to cislunar space by the Orion, launched on SLS for NASA, that will carry the first American woman and next American man back to the surface, and then begin our permanent presence at the moon. We see it as a stepwise progression. It begins just with being able to get there and get safely back. And then being there and delivering some early systems for exploration, we can conduct what I call scientific exploration. That means we need to learn more about the environment, for example, in the polar region, and about conditions there, the resources that will be available there, because that will tell us then where to start conducting resource utilization experiments and the buildup of Artemis Base Camp. Next comes a stage which I call practicum. That's where we have a lot of learning to do on the lunar surface about how conditions affect our systems that will allow us to design the systems that then allow us to scale up for industrial scale operations like production of propellants from lunar materials. And that in turn is what gives us sustained presence. So this is a stair-step approach into the vision that I think we all share of a sustained presence, preparation for deep space missions like the exploration of Mars, and other amazing things, including commercial future on the moon as well. On the technical side, we need to appreciate that landing on the moon with people, operating there, and getting them back home safely, and building things there is very hard. In today's world, we are used to seeing very sophisticated animations and simulations and renderings, and it makes it all look easy. This is not an easy thing. Even though Apollo succeeded a half a century ago, and we have much better capabilities now and tools and technologies, this is still a very hard problem. And it's going to take keeping our heads down and being focused and applying the best of our insights and experience for this to be a successful program. So we should never underestimate that. And then finally, I would return to the idea of practicum, meaning the experimentation that we need to do in situ. There are things we need to learn about operating in a lunar environment: granular flow in 1.6G, fluid flow in 1.6G, human physiology in sustained 1.6G, of course, the behavior of flame in habitats in 1.6G. All of that is new. what is the nature of the resources that are in the lunar regolith. We have tantalizing early data showing that there are water ice deposits in some form in the polar regions. We don't have reason to believe that there's solid ice or ice lenses. It's somehow admixed at very low fractions in the lunar regolith. Learning how to extract that, work with that to produce tanker level quantities of propellant that we can use to refuel our landers and use for breathing gases and other materials in building up a lunar base. All of that is new. And none of that experimentation can be done completely on Earth. We need to be in the lunar environment conducting those experiments. That requires sustained presence, repeated missions, multiple generations of technology development and testing and experimentation so that we can learn how to design the systems that we need for that full-scale implementation of a base. And that's where you'll really see international collaboration and collaboration by companies that are bringing private capital and hopefully have customers within themselves, customers beyond the NASA budget and the budgets of the peer agencies around the world. This is all fundamental to being able to grow lunar activity into the vision that we all share. So until we can learn how to operate there, learn how to make things out of what we find there, learn how to do sustained operations the way we have on the International Space Station, and do all this collaboratively, repeatably, predictably, growth will elude us, right? So we have to get all those things done first before the vision that we share can become real. That is a hefty set of challenges. That's a generational challenge for all of us. It's one certainly that we're excited to be now finally underway to do. You know, for us, although we are industry, this isn't just business. I personally have been at this for 35 years in my career, sort of single-mindedly trying to make these kinds of things happen. Many members of my team have been at this for just as long. So persistence and commitment and sort of emotional commitment to this vision and these goals is what we need to maintain and be steadfast about to make all this real. Humanity needs hope. We need hope now more than ever. Those of us who are privileged to be in the space exploration business, we are in the business of hope. That's what we do. It's what we know how to do best, and that's precisely what humanity needs right now.